Hello, hello, Karsten versus the market here. So I've mentioned how there are a lot of great opportunities this year in the stock and crypto markets. So I wanted to share a recent list of stock picks. These are stocks that I'm watching or that I plan to trade or that I'm already holding, some of which I think will return nice profits in the next few weeks or sometime this month or next month, especially the ones that have earnings soon, or at the very least, some of these should be fire this year or next year at the latest. So to get started, first of all, there's AMD. AMD just keeps growing, great earnings after great earnings. It's got a fair value of like $130 per share, which gives it a reasonable price target in the $140 range. And it's been down to $100 like this at least 3 other times, after which it was $120, $130, or even $160 after that. So this seems like an obvious buy to hold, and no matter how long it takes, at some point, this will probably be back to around 130, 140, 150 for sure pretty much. All it will take, honestly, is a bull market, a turnaround in the economy, or simply another great earnings report, which they have pretty often. Now, aside from that, Rocket, RKT, is also a profitable corporation, I believe, and it's pretty undervalued as well. And I think it has earnings in early May, and I expect it to at least rally to the $15 range, if nothing else. And so I think it's worth holding as part of a diversified portfolio. There's also ones that I've mentioned before that I think are ridiculously undervalued, like Pinterest. I think it's also profitable, and it's in the 20 range, and it has a fair value of like 40-something dollars. And PayPal was willing to pay like $60 per share not too long ago. So I think it's a pretty obvious buy. There's also a few that are not as high quality, but they're great trading opportunities. Like I've mentioned in recent videos, how AVCT, I've already traded it 3 times profitably recently when it dipped into the 70, 80, 90 cent range and then rallied to $1 plus, which is only about 10 or 20% returns with shares, but with options, that was like 50+% per trade. And also, there's others like that, such as ASTR, which has some hype to it, and it's been ranging $3 to $5, and it used to be higher, like over 10, and all it would take for this to shoot over 5 or even make it to $10 is just a bit of good news, or again, a bull market or a turnaround in the economy. So like a $5 call for next year will probably eventually return a few 100%, almost for sure in my opinion. But again, it's just a matter of having a well-diversified portfolio where you have more winners than losers. Now, aside from that, Tilray is still undervalued despite the jump from $5 to $8 recently. It'll probably be back to $10 to $15 either after its next earnings soon, or if the Senate and President agree to legalize cannabis like the House already agreed to, and also just another bull market or economy turnaround, like I said, could also bring this back over $10. So it's pretty good. I think it also might be one of the profitable, or at least to a degree, cannabis corporations worth watching. There's also this one, XELA. It's also not great quality, but in the 40-cent range, I'm sure it's going to be back to the 60 to 80-cent range again sooner than later. It's probably a great, simple, short-term trade. And of course, it'll probably be higher later again. It's had some hype to it. But for the most part, as again, a well-diversified portfolio, a short-term trade outlook is what I think for this, as long as it doesn't lose its 40-cent support. Now, this is kind of a funny one for me to watch. It's Ford. Ford's actually been holding around $16 or higher pretty well. And of course, some of the good news it's had recently has jumped it to around 20 to 25. And I think it also has earnings soon. And I won't be surprised if it at least gets back to $20, maybe even a little higher. And it's a pretty reliable trade as long as it has something good going for it, or as long as the times are good. MULN has a lot of hype. It's not actually like a great established corporation yet. It's just getting started. But anytime it's at $1 or $2, you could probably scalp $1 or $2 per share from it in a short period of time, thanks to all the hype and attention it's getting. But of course, it's fine if you instead were the type to believe in it and buy like a $5 call for next year, and maybe it would get back up to about 10 by next year at some point. Not too hard to believe, especially, like I said, if you're diversifying, and it's fine if you have a few that are winners and a few that aren't. Now, AMC, at this $22, $23 range, I'm expecting another short-term jump, maybe to $25 to $28. I've said before that my price target for it is $23 to $25, but that they've been doing a lot to grow, so the apes could totally win, and it could totally get back to $30 to $50 and maybe even hold it. Anytime it's below 20, I'm pretty much going to buy it for sure. But for the most part, right now, the mid-20s are about where I give it a price target, and a lot of fair values place it just a little under $20. But yeah, nothing wrong with trading some hype though. It's usually a great opportunity. Just kind of like with NEO, I don't usually trust Chinese stocks, but NEO is pretty good, and anytime they're undervalued, you're pretty much sure to get a rally over anything at some point. Well, I guess that's about it. There's a lot of other ones that I like PayPal has earnings before too long. Palantir is really undervalued. Hut and Hive. Next time there's like a dramatically good bull market in crypto, where like the crypto market reaches new highs, these two could end up doing really well. Just kind of like how Mara and Riot kind of follow cryptocurrency because they profit from it. And a lot of space stocks are usually pretty sensitive, like Rocket Labs or Virgin Galactic, SPCE. Also, I'm expecting Jumia to finally have a turnaround at some point, since it's kind of got a monopoly on its market over there. I expect it to probably get back to the 10 or 15 range at some point. But at this point, I'm kind of just rambling about 50-50 stocks, or just kind of my excessive diversification that not everyone is going to be interested in. So yeah, at least hopefully this kind of gives some leads of interest, and of course, I'm open to feedback. And with that said, I hope this is a great year for all of us, and have a good one.